Okay, so we're live and good afternoon. Welcome everybody welcome all ladies to this live webinar organized by Ladies Build with AI. We're going to learn today how to build with AI, and I'm going to, for the next half an hour, 45 minutes, going to give you a quick intro about the basics of AI and introduction to vibe coding, so you can basically start building your own cool stuff. And I'm pretty sure there are a few ladies here that have some interest in AI. Maybe we all have different backgrounds, different professions, different domain expertise, and probably different stories, I would say. And for some reason, we all came together today because there's one thing that really interests us, and that's really getting hands-on with AI. So hopefully I'll inspire you today to really start building stuff and to get more involved in AI. My name is Marta, and as I said, Ladies Build with AI, I founded this initiative. I also founded something other called Launchpad, and I'll say this in a second, what this actually is and how it actually got me to Ladies Build with AI. I used to be an e-commerce manager. I used to also have experience with product management. So for 10 years, I was working with developers, tech teams, but just to say from beginning, I am not an engineer myself. I've never really coded anything. As much as I like it, and I really like to be in the conversations, I never really coded myself. And last year, I really wanted to switch my career and get involved. Just start to switch to more tech-driven roles, and really didn't know how to do it from the standpoint where I was. But AI really was helpful in that path because, first of all, just really being generally interested in what AI is. But then AI also taught me how to code and taught me how to build my own products. And right now I have Launchpad AI, which you can also check yourself. It's an MVP, so it's not a fully working product from A to Z, as you'll probably see, but it's out there, and it's already something which validates a particular idea and frustration that I had. That I wanted to solve for myself, and now it's out there. And I'm also going to founders and other VCs and trying to pitch this concept with something which is a live working website and a product, and hopefully getting funds to accelerate it. So super cool. And I think for you, all of you watching this webinar, it's hopefully also an inspiration to show you, even if you think like, I'm not really technical, I'm not sure where to start, that it's very, very much possible. And it's actually really exciting, really fun, and also really nice to learn new things and just kind of feel like you're not being left behind. So I was using AI to build this working product. And I was actually quite excited to see how far it got me without any coding skills again. And then I started to think like, well, what if I just apply it to other things and start building other stuff that I always wanted to do, but still, needed some resources or needed someone to actually do it for me. It was really empowering. So let me show you how it works. But just quickly, before I go to the next one, let me just check quickly if it works. Yes. Just checking if you guys are still there. Cool. So as I said, e-commerce, that was my background, but then I thought maybe I can also start building my own e-commerce websites. So putting something on production and linking it with a payment provider to also collect payments to sell my own stuff, or even things like just very simple, basic websites that are also mobile responsive. But I can get more creative and just use my imagination to build websites in the way that I want, instead of thinking, can I go to a CMS and let me select a particular template and then just fill in the blocks, right? So it's kind of a different way of building, but really really cool to see that with AI, you have those websites that you can just imagine, and then you prompt it, you put it into LLM or any other tool, and then it just builds for you like you would have kind of like your own engineer next to you. And after that, I even thought, okay, can I maybe go into app design and app development? Because I had also some personal workflows that I was really eager to automate. So what you can see here on the left side, with Launchpad, I integrated the OpenAI chat interaction into Launchpad. So you'd really speak to an LLM in the product. And the one on the right-hand side, it was more of a personal solution to my kind of quest to really have good habits and to really stay healthy and to have this daily tracker, and incorporating some of the elements of other apps that I always like using, like Duolingo, or podcasts, a lot of quotes that I always just write down to kind of sync it up into one app. And there you go. I just create something for myself. It's, not super pretty, but it's something that delivers at least my own expectations. So with this came Ladies Built with AI, because I thought, well, if I can do that, I'm pretty sure everyone else can do. And it's really, really important to get diversity into the table. There's a lot of innovation happening right now. I'm sure you can see that, if you just miss a week on AI news, you're really left behind. Like, there are new tools coming, new people popping up, and just the speed is really crazy. And we also need diverse perspectives when it comes to innovation. And not sure what your experiences are, but at least when I was walking on the floor of the World AI Summit last year, really struck me like how many startups were there. And I only saw guys there, like only male founders. And as much as there were attendees at the conference, in terms of really building and driving and having an impact on this industry, not a lot of diversity. So with this came kind of my personal mission when building myself, to really empower more women to not only just use AI, but actually really become creators and builders and really get involved, not only as consumers, like not only use your ChatGPT to draft you an email or check how the weather is today, but really, really get serious with it, not to be left behind, and also ensure that innovation is, equal and diverse, and we're inviting a lot of different perspectives. So that's what Ladies Build with AI is. And what we do is we provide online courses. So if you feel like after this one as well, you're really inspired and you really want to get hands-on and you have some ideas, but you never really thought how to start, those are very practical courses. It's kind of like a bootcamp, hackathon style. And I'm sure that in 6 hours, you'll not only get enough knowledge, but you'll also build your own product, and you'll maybe even push it to production. So you can show it off to whoever you're proud of showing to. So practical skills, but also access to community of other ladies that are also building. They're really getting hands-on with everything. And it's nice to feel like you're not the only one in this world. And we need to create more of that in the AI world in general. So also for ladies that feel like they don't want to be left behind, they need to get new skills with AI, this is a really great way to enter this, to upskill yourself, and just really learn by doing. I think that's the best way to feel like you're kind of leveling up. Just quickly checking again. Great. Sorry, a bit of a control freak here with this one. A lot of new tools that I'm trying for the first time, but still, hopefully, it's all great. So that was Ladies Built with AI. And why are we here today? As I said, different perspective. We all have a common ground, which is probably interest in AI, curiosity. But we're here because we really need more female founders, and we also need those diverse perspectives. And two things that I want to share with you. Maybe you already know this, but there are lots and lots of AI startups at this moment. And you would be surprised that many of them, so for example, Y Combinator in the US, they are like, you have to pitch to them to get funding. And it's kind of like an incubator, let's say, for startups. So they welcome a lot of different talent and AI startups into their incubators. And A quarter of those startups, and that was actually 3 months ago, 95% of their code bases, so their entire code was almost generated by AI, right? So that's how technical or not technical maybe they are, and they still get funding. So it's, a very serious game, I would say. But the second thing, which is really, really worrying, is in the US, the funding for female only, or like female founders exclusively, was not even 1%. So the access to those funds is really, really low. Actually, was the lowest one this year since they've been measuring this almost 10 years before. So you can imagine what a disbalance there is. We really want to get into startups. We really want to get into AI, but we also need to get funded. And we need to also make sure we can accelerate. So hopefully with more and more perspectives, more and more of the underdogs joining the scene, there will be also more funding, right? Like if there's no demand for it, there's also no supply, you would think. So let's hope that those stats will be different. So I've been talking about vibe coding as an introduction, and I'm curious if you know what it already is, or maybe you're thinking like, what is this, like what sort of a vibe and why is it attached to the word coding? If I can just quickly say, it's like you're coding with language, natural language. So in this case, it's English. So there are a lot of different coding languages, programming languages, but even software engineers, even the guy that you see on this slide, so he was one of the founders of OpenAI. He tweeted 2 years ago, actually 2.5 years ago, that we will be all programming with English. So very, very accessible, very easy to explain, and kind of a different workflow than building software these days, or how it used to be actually. So with LLMs now being so good that they will not only generate your LinkedIn post or your draft email or your business plan, they will actually code the entire thing that you can imagine. Like you'll have an idea for an online store, or you have an idea for an app, or you'll have an idea for some kind of workflow automation. If you can just really describe it well and kind of know what are the boundaries, it will code for you. So this is vibe coding. And like with an example here, you can say, build me a website where users can RSVP for an event, saying like things you kind of want it to do. And there you go. You'll just see it coming up to life in front of you. Whereas before, you obviously needed either teams, like design and developers, maybe some testers as well, a lot of operations in between. Now it's just, a few minute job basically done by an LLM. I really invite you also to check this video that you see here. It's called Software in the Era of AI. It's by Andre Carpati. And actually, Andre was the one who really founded, let's say, vibe coding, because he was vibe coding himself. He wanted to check like how good are LLMs just to, code simple stuff. And he was actually really impressed. So he started posting about it. And then the whole vibe coding wave came up. With non-technical people building their stuff. And the reason why I invite you to see this video is because he's not only talking about like using AI to code stuff, but he actually really says about what sort of era we're going into with everything. Like not only software. So don't feel like, software, it's no, like I'm not technical. Like, don't worry. I feel everybody should really see this because he's really talking about we will be using AI like we do electricity, right? So you might also think like electricity, you don't need to be technical to understand the basic concepts of electricity, but then everyone has electricity, right? At their home or in their phones, in their cars, whatever. So we have to really understand where everything like is going. So I invite you not only to get hands-on with AI, but also watch this video. Just check it out on YouTube. because it's kind of like the big picture of where everything is going with AI. And if you don't want to be left behind, and if you kind of want to follow, the trend and like see, where this all like where this transformation is going, you should really check it out. And he's also quite funny too, so it's nice to follow him. um, so why would you vibe code, right? Because I can imagine you might now think like, is this for me? And why would I even want to do it? Three reasons that I want to show you. So let's say you have an idea, or let's say you think, I might have this business, or I want to scale it up, or maybe you just have an idea for a business, or you just maybe want to like have your own blog or whatever. It's really good to prototype. And I can tell you, even like if you have something very silly that you've built with AI and it's not maybe super pretty, but at least the fact that you see it and it's like more tangible than just in your head, you're already like a few steps ahead, right? So it's already like kind of gets you going. The creative juices are flowing and everything. You get people also like enthusiastic about your idea because they can see it. So you don't only have to apply it in your work, right? So let's say you guys as a team have an idea, or maybe you have like an idea for a new feature and you maybe want to prototype it with your customers. But I'm also talking about maybe you want to have a side hustle, or maybe you just have a business already, but you kind of want to launch it in a different, group or country. And then you just prototype, how would it actually look like in real life? It saves you time, right? Because it's done like this. It saves you money, and it's also really creative because you can get really creative with AI too. So that's the first one. And then you have somewhere where I have been last year is really teaching myself how to code. Because you can also ask AI to go step by step to kind of say like, I'm a 5-year-old and I have no idea what you're talking to me. Can you please really be very like simple and explain step by step what you're doing? And trust me, like programming is actually really, really cool and, really fun too, like just to be able to see that you're stitching A and B together, or maybe you break A and B and then you really want to like fix it. It's really, really fun feeling to do. So use also AI, use vibe coding to teach yourself how to code, to really understand like, okay, if I do this, then this will happen, or if I do this, this will break. But if I'll fix it, like this is what I have to do, or I'll have to go back and let's try a different approach, right? So it's really the process of learning, which is very satisfying. And so you can use AI, to get that knowledge. Just make sure you really work with good documentation, with good tools. I'll show you this in a bit, right? And the third one is building real products. So why not? Why not just give it a try, right? So I can tell you there are a lot of startups, a lot of AI generated businesses that are really raising serious funds right now. And they were vibe coded too. And people are not ashamed of it. Like they're just actually proud to be non-technical, build something, and then actually raise a lot of money or even sell it to bigger companies. Can you imagine? It's very empowering. So those are the three reasons why I would think would be good to just at least start vibe coding. But be aware, right? There are always some pluses and minuses. Obviously, you can think with vibe coding, hey, where are all those engineers going to, right? What are they going to do? So there are a lot of critics. There is a lot of skepticism in a way that, you're saying like, you're giving very powerful tools into people that have no knowledge of them. So it's kind of like scissors in child's hands, which is true. But you have to be aware that, kind of like what are the limits, right? So can you apply it to really big companies that have very complicated tool stacks? Probably it's not going to work in enterprise right now. And I'm saying right now, because I don't know what's going to happen like in half a year time. I don't know. So, I understand that there might be there might be a lot of resistance to just vibe coding, it's super easy. But actually, you really do need expertise. You really need to know what you're doing. So that's one side. And then we have another side of supporters, right? So you can feel like I'm also a supporter. So because we're in this on-demand creation era, can you imagine that you can just with one prompt build kind of complicated stuff too? And you don't have a limit of capacity right now. You don't really have a limit of like you have to wait on somebody to build this. So it's also really freeing. So beware that with vibe coding, you might not get to the end results like 100%. Maybe you'll get there to like 75, 80%, depending on what you're building, right? But still this aspect of 20% that's left, it's also really cool to understand that you can use AI to teach yourself how to get to that 20%. Or maybe you can hand over whatever you've been building to someone and just make sure that this 20% is like really, really great because you've already done the 80%, right? So yeah, showing you some of the examples with the things that are already live and built by other people. So I actually really like the one which is on the left-hand side because someone just made their personal website in a form of, is that poker probably? I don't play poker. I don't know. But it's like probably, well, you're in a casino. So someone just made this really creative version of their own website, all by herself. And then on the right-hand side, it's actually one of those products that is already raising a lot of funds. So a girl has been teaching herself how to code. She's been vibe coding a personal finances app, which is kind of more suited to millennials. And now she's raising money to scale it even further to make it like more accessible and it looks really, really great. Vibe coded too. So check out Peak. I think it's called Peak Money app. Really, really cool tool. And also things like, because you might think, I'm never going to build an app, which is fine. But someone also made some kind of like horoscope solution. Sure. You can also have like your own BME journal. There are a lot of like calorie counters. So sure, I mean, why not, right? Like just to basically get hands-on with, and just to see and test out like the limits of AI and also your own limits, I would say, like how far you can go with an idea. Cool. I'm going to show you my own case study, and I have to laugh because I'm like, this is not a thing you demo at a conference, right? But I thought like, okay, those are ladies only. We're probably in a safe space. So I will show you something that I've developed for myself. Also because, sorry, I was just quickly checking if we're still live. Also because I just kind of want to walk you through the process of how I've actually done it. So this is my own period tracker. My biggest frustration with or like motivation to just build something for myself was like, okay, there are so many like manual things that I have to do every single month. It's repetitive. It costs me time, and actually, I don't want to pay money to an app that I don't know what they're doing with my data. It's very personal. They're showing me like a bunch of ads, a lot of different features that I don't necessarily need at this stage, or maybe like I'm not interested. I just wanted to have something from myself, very personal. But I didn't want to have all of this in 50 different places on my phone. So a very simple use case with saying, okay, I need to add a date. I need to also see previous dates. I need to also see the average amount of dates in between, right? So like have the average cycle calculated, predict the next date, and add it to my calendar automatically. So few bullet points that I put into LLM. And actually it came not only with a really cool design, a working app, but it also came with some features that I thought, oh, those are also really cool, like monitoring your stats. And I'm a very like data-driven person. I am so obsessed with different numbers. So I thought like, yeah, this is actually really cool. Like I can actually learn about myself something, because I've built this for myself. So that's how Harmony came to life. And I was showing this to my friend the other day. She was actually really inspired, because Harmony, it's just a really fun example to show like what vibe coding can do to you too, and make sure you're also like doing it securely. So I'll show you the stack that I used here to ensure that this is like staying really in the right place and not like, I don't know, someone is misusing it. So how I've built it, I put those instructions, so what you've just seen before with the bullet points, I just put it into Claude. So like the usual LLM, you can also do ChatGPT, you can do whatever, but I found Claude really easy to use. I'll show you in a second how it looked like. They generate really good code, and just a really good introduction for people that are not technical. Also ensure when you're like briefing LLM to say what it has to do, but also what it not has to do, or like the in scope, out of scope kind of prompts. And make sure like you're not also adding everything into one prompt, but just kind of like add feature by feature by feature. Because if you're just briefing everything in one prompt, LLMs can get like really messy and kind of crazy too, and not really doing the stuff that you wanted them to do. So ensure you have like an order of prompts with features you want to build. So in order to make sure that everything was kind of secure and also like staying in one place, you need a database. So it's great you have this, like front end that you see, but like data needs to be somewhere. So I added Supabase as my database for two reasons. Because I wanted to log in with my Google account. So you need that to ensure you log in with Google. You need a database, at least the one that Supabase has the authentication feature. And then the second thing, because I realized, and that's also like trial and error, every time I logged in, like all of my dates were gone. Well, makes sense because they weren't stored anywhere. So I needed to store all the dates as well as the average cycle days. They had to be stored in a database. Otherwise, like either if I was refreshing my my app or logging in again, like every single month, the stuff was just gone, and I had to like do everything all over again. So I needed that, and then I also wanted to automatically, for every single new date, add a calendar event. So I actually hooked it up with Google Calendar API. And trust me, all of those things are pretty much open source, or like at least like open and available. A lot of those things are also free. Depends on what you want to do, but like that wasn't a barrier for me not to go further. So again, I use Claude here. I don't have like a whole stream of prompts, but just to show you, like I basically set the things that I wanted, and then it just started working. And then on one hand, I had this like step-by-step thing process of what Claude was doing, because I was also asking Claude, okay, can you just show me step-by-step what I need to do or what you're doing? So I had this on one side, and then on the other hand, I had a live design, which is really cool to like the visual of what you're building is really helpful, because you also have this visual. So you have two modes, you have the code mode and the preview. So whatever code you can read, you can also click on preview to actually see it like come to life. It's just easier to build that way if you're not technical. So that was Claude, and that was Harmony. But there are a lot of other tools out there, and I want to walk you through 5 different categories, and probably many of them you already know before, or like at least you've heard the names. So you have let's start with top left. So the LLMs that probably all of you know, right? So your ChatGPT, the Gemini, Grok, the Claude, a lot of different LLMs out there, which you can also use to code. So let's say you have an example for your online business and you want to have a simple landing page, like super simple. You can also just brief this, put it into that box, start typing, and then it will generate what I've just showed you before on 2 sides. It will show you like the thought process and the output, right? So the website code. So that's one side. I would say LMs are really good to like do basic stuff, or it's a very good introductory step. It's also really good if, let's say, you've been a little bit further in the coding journey and you have some things that don't work, or you get an error, or you want to, like, I don't know, click something, it doesn't work. So that's where you describe your problem, and it will also show you like some of the scenarios which can happen that are causing this error, right? And also possible solutions. So I would say like really basic back and forth stuff. Then you have on the top right side, you have the automation tools. So this is, let's say, maybe if you have a particular workflow or something that you want to automate. Like I had, for example, subscribers to my forms in Tally. They will be also, the ones that are opt-in will be also added to my MailChimp list, and they will get like a particular promo email or a newsletter or a welcome email. And there are really cool tools. I really like Gumloop. It's actually really, really powerful. But the screenshot you're looking at right now is called make.com. And it's, I would say, like a no code, but also low code. If this and that kind of stitcher. So N8N is also really cool, but at least for the ones that are like, getting into automation, just maybe first take a look at make.com and also play around with Gumloop. And then if you feel like, yes, I can do it, then try other tools like N8N. And the ones that you see below, so the AI enhanced code editor and the coding assistant, you might feel like, okay, what is this? Like, it's too much. I get it, but we'll do it. It will be fine. So let's say you really want to see the code terminal, right? So you actually feel like, yes, I can do it. I want to also learn coding. So it's recommended to actually see how your website or an app or product or whatever, how it actually looks, how the backstage looks. So it's good to see what's happening in the code terminal, what's happening to your code. And the ones you see on the left side, so the bottom left, those are called IDEs. So the integrated development environments, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, those are like really the tools where you have your code. Those are where programmers will usually code. But they are called AI natives. So there are a lot of code terminals right now that are called like Cursor. You maybe heard of these tools, or Windsurf or Replit AI. They're really AI native. So that means that they were meant to be for programmers or people that code with AI. So let's say you would have code on one side, as you can see on the screenshot, and then you have like this little sidebar on the right side on the screenshot. That's where you just tell your agent what you need, like fix this problem or build this or add this or remove this, whatever. And it will just start coding like as you see it. And the only thing you have to do is like accept the challenge, like accept the changes. You can also code yourself, but it's actually, because it's called AI native, they're actually meant to code for you. And you're like only the one who's like, in the driver's seat and just saying like, okay, we need to push gas, or, we need to change brakes or whatever. And it's also, because it's in your code, it builds your code, right? So it knows everything from A to Z, like the whole context window around it, right? So it really knows every single line of code that it wrote. Whilst, let's say, if you were programming with the top left option, right? So you choose your LLM, you get your code, like I did with my app for my period tracker. And then I was just like pasting stuff. Like LLM has only access to, those snippets of what you were asking. It doesn't have like a full overview of what you've been building. Whilst the bottom left option, so let's say you were using Cursor, it really knows everything from A to Z. And you don't even have to sometimes like add stuff like make it AI, like mobile responsive or whatever, because it already has programmed stuff in mobile responsive way. So a lot of things, you kind of just leave out because it really knows everything, which is different than the one you see on the bottom right side. This is just like an add-on to your existing coding terminal, like a plugin, let's say. So let's say you're an advanced engineer, let's say you've been coding for many years and you're used to like your own tools. Like the GitHub Copilot is an add-on to your existing code terminal. So what you see here on the left-hand side, it's AI native. So those are kind of like the new tools that are out there, and you're just basically doing everything in it. This is the one what you see on the right-hand side. Let's say you've been coding for like 10 years in a particular tool, and now they offer a plugin to it, which is this AI component or AI agent, which still does similar things to what you see on the left-hand side. So let's say you'll see like change this line of code or remove this, or there's an error, fix it, right? So you'll be like, ask Cloud Code to fix it, and it will just do it. But it doesn't have, because you've been, let's say, in this code base for 10 years yourself, you've been writing your code, not the AI add-on. It doesn't have a full context window. It doesn't know your code from A to Z, like the ones that are on the left-hand side. So a lot of talking, but I would say if you're a starter, go first with your LLMs. If you want to give it a try, and you actually want to challenge yourself, I would say go for it. Go for the cursor solution. Go also maybe for Cloud Code. A lot of people are recommending it, and just see how far you get. And even if you break stuff, it doesn't matter. Like, you've been learning, so it's fine. But at least just kind of like to get a feeling of stuff. And there's also, because I'm sure you guys have heard, ladies, have heard about, the lovable or the bold solution, or there are also a lot of different, I would say, no-code, low-code applications. The one I really like is called V0. Also a kind of like easy UI generator with code attached to it. So, for example, the app that I was showing you before, where I was tracking my daily habits, I've built it with Bolt. So this is also like a really simple way. Those are the tools that vibe coders really use a lot. Sign up, get an account or get a subscription if you really want to pay for it and get access to all the features. But you can do simple stuff here too. You can build your own products. And what I also really like about, let's say, the Bolt solution is that you can deploy it so straight from your code, because you also need to like push it to, a live, basically internet. You just push deploy, and it really deploys whatever you've built to the internet. It has like its own domain. But you can buy your own domain if you want to have a different domain, and you can just hook it up with what's being deployed. And that's very powerful, because before, a lot of those things that I'm talking about, they used to be like separate teams even doing those things, separate processes that were like, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like now it's actually all integrated into one, and it's super easy. It's also super fast. And there are also different other integrations that are very easy to just add on in those solutions like Bolt or Lovable. So go and check it out. Okay, so it's your turn right now. I hope that you've seen enough examples to get inspired. I hope that you also know kind of like the basics of the vibe coding landscape, let's say, like to get you inspired, to get you motivated to really try. And it's now your turn to just get hands-on with it. Like the 3 steps, I would say, set up a really simple coding workspace. If you want to start using LLM and just put in your ideas and get some code, push it to production and see how it looks like. Or even you don't want to push it to production. Maybe you just kind of want to keep it to yourself. Try it. Also learn to write really clear prompts. So like I had with, with the period tracker again, I had like very clear use cases and things that I wanted to do in a particular order, and things that I also not wanted to see, and just learn, like get into that practice to, just brief well, right? Like a product manager would do. And then step 3 is start with really small projects. I wouldn't, because I've seen those examples like, oh, I want to clone my own Netflix, which is fine. But I would say just really start small, because it can be also really discouraging. And it's it shouldn't be like this, and it's not like that if you start small and not like, create your own Instagram and then stop like after one day because you just, it was too much. Right. So if you feel inspired, I really invite you to check out the website called Ladies Built with AI, because this was an introductory webinar, right? And if you feel like, okay, now I really want to do this, I offer courses, online classes, and it's not only the content, but actually very practical courses where you follow the content and then on the other screen you just build your stuff, and then you can also showcase this to a community. You can get also a lot of support and just kind of feel like you're not alone in this journey. So I really invite you to sign up. There are evening classes, but also weekend classes, and I'm organizing it for right now online, but then maybe there are also ways that we can have kind of like an offline boot camps or hackathons, Ladies Built with AI. So go and check it out. And for now, we have a Q&A. I'm just curious, like, if we have any questions. So if you feel like there was something that maybe you didn't understand as I was talking through, like, just post your question right now. You can also send me questions after this webinar, which is fine, but this is like your chance to shine. And if you feel like you just want to ask something was not clear, or whatever, this is your time. So let me just check. I'll stop sharing for now. And let me just see, like, if you have any questions, I'll wait for a bit. And I hope this works, by the way. Like, you guys are, or like ladies are not like putting stuff and I don't see it, but I should be able to see it. Okay, I will maybe show one here. From Ellen. Thanks, only use N8N trying to automate some workflow for myself, but very interesting to see other tools. Yeah, I mean, it's super cool that you're trying this, and also just try maybe other tools, because my experience was, if I was stuck somewhere, I would just basically like go to a different tool and see. Sometimes they have like a different onboarding experience, different workflows, also different apps. So yeah, so if you want to also see other tools, go ahead and see if it actually works for you. But yeah, really happy for you that you're trying other tools. That's learning, right? Great. I think that was it for now. Or maybe I actually have one more. One more, sorry. What's the current progress of your Harmony app so far, and how did you get AI help to implement it? Okay, so 2 questions, so 2 answers. So my current, I mean, I'm super happy with my app because, it saves me a lot of time on really kind of simple, silly things. And I'm actually really impressed every single time I revisit it that it still like works in a way that I want it. So I actually want to add more and more features to it, but I really take it step by step, right? So, it doesn't have to be like the next, unicorn in the world, right? It saves my frustration and my problem, and I'm happy with it. And then the next one. So did you get AI help to implement 2 different apps for both iOS? Yes. And I mean, I ask AI in terms of coding for everything. So if I'm stuck somewhere, or if I feel like, what would you suggest? Like, this is my approach, and what would you suggest, right? So yes, I did ask AI to help it. What you have to do, though, with apps, so you have like a web app, so it could be like in a browser, and then you have the real apps, right? And those have to be submitted to app stores. So they need to be like validated and checked. So it's a kind of process you need to go through. I'm not sure if AI helps in this entirely, but it definitely helping you like step by step how to get there. Great. I'm super happy with all the comments actually. It's nice to see ladies joining and being enthusiastic about it. So hopefully next time I'll see your stuff um, coming to life. So show it up for sure. Um, Great. So I think for now, that's pretty much it. So thank you for coming to this webinar. It's also on YouTube, so you can watch it. You can rewatch it. You can share it also with other ladies. Check out the website. There's also a LinkedIn page, and let's spread the word. And hopefully, we'll get a lot of cool female builders and founders, and we'll get like a little bit more equal world, let's say, in the AI. And it's super exciting. So thank you for joining and enjoy the rest of your day.